What's up, everybody? How are you? Welcome. It is Ask Grow 65. Happy New Year. I just figured out that I haven't done a video since the end of last year. So I want to say Happy New Year. I got a few thoughts going into my head because I was wanting to do this on my bloggy, but I think it's checking out on me. I mean, you know, it still works, but it won't charge because the USB thing won't go onto my computer. So I might need to upgrade myself. It is 2012, but right now I'm doing this on my Evo. Don't you just love technology? So I'm still in it to win it. I've had an email in my box for a minute from Rachel that I need to get to answering. I apologize for my tardiness, but it is here nonetheless. I hope this message is finding everybody well. I don't know if you guys got an opportunity to check out Perspectives Corner last night, but I had some really great guests on the show, and the topic of the day was seeing a vision through. Really great information. Harold S. Reed Jr. was on there talking about his book, Find a Way to Make a Way. We broke down a lot of things that were in his book, and a lot of great information came out. Andre Merritt, Dre for short, came on board. He's a singer-songwriter responsible for hits like Disturbia for Rihanna, Chris Brown's Forever, Entourage for Omarion, and plenty more. Kelly Rowland, Cheryl Cole in England, he's worked with a lot of different people, so really, really talented brother. We've known each other forever. Well, forever to me, but we met probably back in like 99, 98, and I have watched him rise into some incredible success. We talked about his story, and I was on for like 2 hours last night, so that was kind of cool. Dre sang live 2 songs from his CD with acoustic guitar and 3 background singers. Reality radio, so definitely check out that show. If you want to chime in about it, give me some feedback. I am more than open to hearing it. Drop by AskGrow.com and leave me a message. I'm going to put up a post so that you guys can respond to it. Without further ado, I'm going to jump into this email. Okay, this is from Rachel. What's up, Rachel? I hope you are well, dear, and I apologize for taking a bit to get to your email. So it says, hey, Miss Rowe, my name is Rachel. I'm a fairly new fan of your work and especially of MMC. I can't say that I'm a longtime fan considering that I am only 15. Laugh out loud. Thanks to my older sisters, I love, love, love MMC and have seen almost all the clips on YouTube. Very cool. I have a few quick questions about MMC and a question for advice. The questions about MMC are these. I always wanted to know if there were any relationships behind the scenes between the Mouseketeers. Okay, so let's start with that one. I don't know about all of them. I'm sure there were, probably some little flings here and there, but more of the long-term relationships are the ones that I remember. Tony and Mylene at one point, Tony and Gary at one point, JC and Nikki DeLoach, and I'm pretty sure there were some more, but I don't really remember everything that well. So, yeah, those were a few. So, yeah, definitely some things going, on. Also, was there any Mouseketeer in particular that you were closer to than the others? Well, I lived with Matt Morris. He and I were roommates at one point. We were really good friends. I lived with Nita. We were really good friends. Dale has always been a great friend of mine. We're still, homies to this day. Man, but we were so close-knit, to be honest with you. We were all pretty close. I remember reading somewhere a few years ago that JC and I were supposed to be the best of buds, and I was like, okay. I don't remember necessarily saying that, but yeah, we were all close. I mean, Tony, Nikki, yeah, we were all pretty close. So if I had to pick some ones that I was closer to, maybe the ones that I lived with because we lived together, Okay, my final question about MMC is, what was your favorite memory and or performance on the show? That is a tough question because there are so many memories, and I know I'm not even remembering all of those things. I'm trying to see if anything just pops out into my mind. I want to mention our rap parties when we would come to the end of the year, and they would put together like a really cool video of all the B-roll or the outtakes. throughout the season. Somebody would usually come around with a camera and, talk to us in the hallway or come into our dressing room, and then they would edit this, nice little montage of clips, and we would watch it at the end of the year, our end of the year party. And it was always emotional when we would leave one another. We would all, miss one another. Some, of course, more emotional than others. I definitely was one of them that would shed a tear, if necessary. I don't remember the years before. I know that I would always miss everybody, but the last year in particular, I cried, and we were really, really sad. It almost wants to make me well up right now, because I think I just brought myself into the moment emotionally. But yeah, it was pretty emotional, definitely for the season 7. Sorry about that. Rap party. I remember a lot of crying faces. Okay, I also was hoping that you would give me some advice. I've been going to a predominantly white private school all my life, and being the only black girl besides my sister has been really tough. Now that I'm in high school, it has been a lot harder. People tend to call me white because I don't act black. She put it in quotations. I do have friends, but you can still see the missing connection when they are with me versus when they are with their other white friends. As a black woman yourself, can you give me advice on how to deal with racial tension? I was going to say, if anybody wants to chime in that's listening to this video that's dealt with some racial tension and you might have some words of advice for Rachel, I am more than open to having you send them to me at askro@gmail.com, and I will sift through some of the mail, and if it's some good information that I think could benefit Rachel, I will forward it to her, because it's really good, I think, when someone can speak to someone else who has dealt with something very similar. My first thought is, it's okay. And I know that may be easier said than done because this is your reality every day. But is there any way that do you have friends outside of school? I know that this is a private school, but what about your life outside of school? How's that going? Maybe putting yourself in some positions where you can do more social events and mingle with other teens to make some new friends, to kind of expand your circle, your social circle. I think that could be very helpful, because then you won't have all of your attention on what you're not getting from your pseudo cronies at school, the people who you think might be your friends, but you're feeling that there's still some distance. So, yeah, that's my first thought. I'm not sure if anything else is going to come, but definitely search out some opportunities to meet some different people. Start hanging with them and finding out some others who have similar interests. And then once you start to build those relationships outside of school, I don't think that your attention will be so consumed with maybe what you're not getting from there. And then it can also build confidence in you, and then it may even shift how people deal with you, because you're not looking to them for anything. You know what I mean? So, yeah, make it okay. It's sometimes it's that mob mentality, when a whole bunch of people are together and they can collectively form a thought together about how they are going to feel about a certain person or race or whatever it is. It's a young thing to do, or one better, an ignorant thing to do, and not ignorant in the sense that I'm trying to speak down about them, but just like you don't know better. You don't know any better, and even if you did, because, there are people, even myself, things that I've done in the past or something where I'm like, why did I make that choice? And at the time, it was just where I was. It was just my level of understanding in the moment. But later on, as I've matured and I've had more life experience and different people have come into my life and different information has come into my life, it's shaped and changed my points of view. And that can happen with these very people that you're having issues with. So make it okay. It's probably coming from it's coming from immaturity. And I would suggest that you find some people outside of school and develop your social circle, find people of similar interests, and then expand your horizons, girl. Have a good time. Be building yourself, thinking about things that you can do. Have some fun, and then let me know how that new mode of action works out for you. Keep in touch with me. It's such a wonderful thing to hear from you. I love that you're 15 and reaching out to me. I love that you love MMC. I think that's really cool, and I appreciate you and your fabulous email. So keep me posted on how things go for you with that, okay? All right, you guys, I will be back here next week for Ask Rose 66. If you have any questions or comments for any video or just something you might want to know, hit me up. I always love to hear from you guys. So until then, have a wonderful one.